Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast, live from the filthy dungeon.
We're back, bitches.
Oh,
We're all sunburnt. We're all tired.
and gotta go to work in the morning.
Yeah, that sucks after a couple days off.
Oh, I'm over it. I don't even feel like I got a day off.
Oh, you kind of don't when you get home on Friday. You know, take a shower and go to bed and then get up and do it all over again.
Looks like I may be remote next weekend.
Yes, sir. Dudes, Shelby County.
Hell of a show. Track was shit.
Yeah, I kind of got an ass eating for that from some of the people, but they just don't realize they had a monster truck show there the night before.
Well, and 6 inches of rain
Yes,
throughout the week.
and they built the track that morning, and the track itself looked phenomenal. But
We found out real quick. Because I had 2 or 3 people, why are you putting water on it? Why are you putting water on it? Well, wasn't putting water in the wet spot.
No.
I was knocking the dust down around the edge of it.
yeah,
Because if somebody would have run the long end, north and south, on either the east or west side, you would have never had an issue.
nope, not one time.
Because the outer perimeter of that track was hard.
Hard, sticky.
We did talk to the Shelby, the fair board, since they've got a dozer there, and we've got 2 months until we're going to be back there. They're going to try to dig down, see if they've got a tile broke or something underneath that bitch.
Yeah, because I'm sure.
Because I don't give a shit about the monster truck show or whatever.
No.
It was a complete sinkhole.
Yep.
And then all we had there to roll the track with was a quad track, and I don't know if any of you all are familiar with the design of a quad track. They are meant not to compact soil.
Correct.
They were just to disperse.
Yeah, they were just trying to almost smooth it after.
Well, something. I mean, I can make that track look beautiful. And we
it
did.
It
several
did look.
times.
It looked fucking phenomenal, dude.
It looked legit, but until you got any kind of horsepower out there, because we had any trouble in gut and go. Not one gut and go got stuck.
Nope.
Put something out there that run halfway decent.
Compacts with the heavy, you know, our regular weld compacts. All of them got them V-bar tires and shit on them. And,
Good.
I mean, they
Straight to
just
the bottom.
straight down to it. So
And everybody's like, well, why didn't you push it off? Well, we could have, but 6 inches of rain had been sitting on that clay for 3 days.
yep.
And anybody that knows anything about soil, clay doesn't drain the best.
Nope. No, it doesn't.
Now, if I could open it up like Thursday and let that clay sit there, could have been tracking.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But we can go through every scenario under the sun. It's not going to change it. Everybody, why didn't you push them out when they got stuck? So I'm supposed to replay the Derby? I'm supposed to pull everybody back out there on the track?
we physically would be changing the outcome
Of the show.
of the entire show, and that's not fair to
It would
the
have caused a
fans.
fucking riot.
Oh, dude! Like I said, I try to tend not to lose my shit, but I kind of did on a guy last night. But I nicely lost my shit on him.
Was it a polite fuck you?
It kind of was. We've been getting those pretty frequently, so
I'm good with it.
yeah.
Hell, I'm good with mean fuck you, dude. I don't care.
I can take an ass eating until it gets starting to get disrespectful to a certain spot. Well, I ain't fucking coming back. It was the track was a
Then
joke.
no.
I was like, then you don't have to come back. I said, that's your deal.
There was plenty of shows last night.
There was, and I mean, you know, nothing against
Warrington,
all
Lynn, Eldon,
Eldon.
which we started our show early enough and run them mod compacts first. By the time they left, because it was over about 5:30.
The track wasn't even completely cleared off, and them
And they
crazy
were
bastards
loaded
were already loaded and heading
headed to
south.
Eldon.
Yep. I got a Snapchat last night. He said, 2 for 1 in one day. He said, I didn't do good at the first one. I did good at the second one. I said, you go to Warner or Eldon? And he's like, Eldon? I was like, holy, you crazy bastard.
But it's pretty cool that even you can have that set up. You know, because we were done with that Derby by 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Started right on time at 5. You know, we were done teching cars at 4-ish.
I walked to the booth at 4:42 is when I was walking around to go to the
I
table.
already had cars staged.
Yep.
My wife was standing on the track, ready to drop the flag on the Power Wheels.
We did take we caught some shit over, why'd y'all start it so early? Hell, I got here at 6 and it was already quarter of the way done. I said, guys, that's not our decision. We had no decision on what time they wanted that to start. But in the same token, what happened there last September, which me and you have talked about it too, the first question out of any fair board member's mind and mouth was, you got to have 100 cars tonight.
I said, no.
I said, not happening, dudes.
Now, if there wouldn't have been 4 other derbies, probably would hit that 75,
80 mark, yeah. And that's kind of what I was figuring. One entire group of cars didn't come.
Right.
So that in turn changed the outcome of that derby.
Oh, for sure.
For that class.
I don't know how that would have played out had they showed up. And we know why they weren't there. Everybody gets behind schedule.
Yep.
He's got big shit popping.
Big shit.
So we'll see him again this summer.
Oh yeah, yeah. We talked on those guys on the last podcast. They're very respectful. They're just legit dudes. Yeah. I still want half of them to separate and go to street stock, and they keep the other ones in stock just to spread the love.
Oh yeah.
Of them LSs around. So.
But if we keep getting that crowd that we got last night, there was enough there that they would have gave them a run. It would have been a dog fight, buddy.
It would have been. It would have gotten
because Shelby showed up last night. The local guys showed up.
And the kind of the weird deal is we'll go ahead and start with the stock cars. Is that most of these guys are buddies. Couple build out of one shop, couple build out of another.
But they know each other.
Correct, and they've ran with each other for a long time. But you could see right when the green flag dropped, this kind of seas parted a little bit. You could tell who was running with who and who was running with who.
You could tell what shop cars were coming.
Correct. It started to get a little turned up. And
Gil, his driving style was way different at the beginning of that.
It was. Mr. Matt.
He was like, "What? Why would you put a pink X on me?" I was like, "Looks like you've been driving around trying to find a parking spot at Walmart." Oh yeah.
That was your favorite shape to use.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Liz drew one on some old boy.
Matt Alvin in a compact or in a Gutnier.
Oh, Landon Alvin, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The entire 4 doors of a W body. The entire
I was trying to keep it off the driver door.
Correct.
But the way her X cross was right at the pillar, so.
Bullseye. But we had some hometown buddies, flat get it on.
While we're talking about the pink X deal, though, there was a bounty on that.
There was.
It come with 2 pit passes to our next show. And I think maybe $100 cash. I don't know.
There were some people throwing some money.
I don't know. We gotta get that squared around because I think Justin Morgan is the only one that claimed a bounty.
Yeah.
So how did that work?
If you took the sandbagger out, you got the money.
You got it. Yep. Which Justin, because the last few cars were, and it was kind of controversial to a certain point. Shelby County was paying 5 spots. Okay, Drew Eubanks flipped Sidney Weir. It's TikTok. Yeah, TikTok everywhere. So when that happened, he dug in the mud and he flipped him. And I thought Drew was going to come back, and he didn't. He kept his foot in it, and he flipped himself. Well, Drew had the last hit out of that, so Drew got 5th. And a Mad Dog with it.
Well,
because Drew started turning that bitch up.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen how that played out because Drew was about to completely jump his own shit. The mindset of driving that car was out of it. He was running with the throttle. That's all he was doing.
Yep. I got a Snapchat from him on the way up there saying, "Let's go see what we could do, if we could junk it or not." Then I get a Snapchat of him on his side and Sydney on his top. Then I get a Snapchat today of Drew driving his car down his driveway saying, "Well, she's ready for the next one." I guess it didn't.
Well, she is going to the frame machine. He did tell me that last night. After we got done early enough, we got to enjoy the beer garden.
It was nice. You know how nice it was for us to be done. And we got all of our shit packed up, tents tore down, tarps put up, everything was loaded in vehicles, and I was drinking an ice cold beer by 8:30, 8:45.
Yep.
Whose car did I get a Snapchat of the front frame on the driver's side from A-arm forward that was bent?
Matt Gill's.
That was Matt's, and basically looked at a 90 to the driver's side.
Mm-hmm.
It wrapped the frame horn around the front tire.
Yep.
And so did he take that shot from the passenger side?
No, it was a door shot.
It was a straight door shot?
Yeah. Well, no. Listen, I mean, he was headed across that track, and Morgan was about to meet some business.
Business.
Gil had her wound from the south end and was headed north. And it was almost like we seen at Salisbury with the Doyle and Hewer deal. Morgan turns around and he comes and he just threw the driver's door out there.
Yep.
Gil jumped himself on Justin Morgan's door.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
And everybody, I had probably 8 people behind me. What the fuck was that? That door shot. I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, you throw that.
He threw every drop of that door out there. And not once did Justin look up at any of the officials to call that.
No, he didn't say nothing. He just.
Gil didn't even have to throw his hands up. Everybody, it was the most blatant throw of a driver's door, which anybody in the world would have
said
done.
that. It's either A, I'm going to get hit in the door, or I'm going to get my shit jumped.
And I
right
seen Morgan's cage. It was
not a punk. Yeah, it was not a punk cage.
That's right. I just know I got that picture, and I just looked at from the A-arms forward, and I was like, what happened? Like, I started snapping 2 or 3 people. What happened to his car? Where'd that shot come from?
Well, after Drew and Sydney flipped, it came down. Quentin Robertson, I think that was his first time in a big car, wasn't it?
Yes.
Justin Morgan,
Yep.
Austin Pfeiffer, and then
Drew, and then
Matt Gill.
and then Brett White was there.
Yep, jumped.
You did have a lot of locals, and a lot of...
Jumped. That son of a bitch is toast.
They
But
folded like a banana.
Brett's that dude. I mean, he don't
loves
give
that
a
shit.
He doesn't
No, the
care.
whole time they were beating on him over there, he was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But Brett's one of them dudes, and he might be in a fucking compact.
Next week, you don't ever know.
Yeah,
Like,
you never know what he's going to
that dude looked at me whenever they were gangbanging him over there in that corner. And he looked up at me after he broke his stick, and he was like, I tried.
Yep.
I was like, I get it.
And he said it. He said, I came here to junk it, and he said they did it for me.
Well, he's wanting his shit pulled out of it.
Yeah.
He's wanting to get the stuff out of that car.
I don't know. I think a SMS steering shaft
Disappeared.
exited
I'm
the-
hoping that hope one of our skid loader guys didn't bury it.
Correct. So if anybody did come along a SMS steering shaft.
His broke at the knuckle and fell out somewhere out there.
Yep.
He was nosed on the east and west side of the track, so I'm not 100% where it come out.
Yeah, it was. But that's the thing, as soon as we pulled into town yesterday, pulled in Casey's, got something to drink. I look over and here comes Sidney Weir coming to my door. It's like, what's up, dude? He's like, man, I don't know. I said, well, I'm just going to ask you right now, how many you bringing? He said, we're bringing 8 total. I said, well, that'll be a good son of a bitch then, because that'll be about 15 cars just about split in the middle.
Right.
And I looked at the time. I looked at the time, and I said, boys, you all are getting ready to junk each other's shit. And he was like, yep, it's going to happen. Me and Drew talked afterwards. He was anybody who knows Drew Eubanks, Drew's
Sober.
Yes. He's just a nut. I mean, he's just cool, just cool as shit. He
Level-headed,
doesn't get
right.
wound up. And
No, because I went over there and checked on him. I was like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
good? Went and talked to Sidney. He said he was good. And I talked to Drew, and he's like, yeah, I'm good.
we're going to go ahead and sit and explain this here because
I seen another pineapple, too, by the way.
I do too.
on somebody's car getting...
Justin
Yep.
Morgan's.
Pineapple Express.
Well, all I can say is whoever's incognito on this stuff,
Yeah, there's sneaky bitches.
I want to say, keep it up.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, somebody figure it out.
But I had people coming to me in the stands. What's the sandbagger X mean? So I had to explain it. And then I had to explain, what happened if somebody took the sandbagger out. And then I had to explain again about the flip, how that pertains to everybody. There's a lot of people in the stands that the only time they ever go to a derby is Shelby County Fair.
Yep.
I mean, that's just we had people from Columbia there yesterday, and I didn't tell you. 2 really nice ladies come up to me and tapped me on the shoulder. They said, I just want to tell you guys that this is the best derby we've been to in 3 years. I said, well, appreciate it. It's team effort. She's like, we already have our passes for Boone County, and we will see you there. She's like, when is your next show here? I said, September 5th. It's on Labor Day. She said, okay, we'll watch it, and we'll be there for that too. So it does. It does. I mean, it's not that part where you think, oh, okay, I'm a big head, big feeling prick.
Well, I do that all the time.
Well, I got a big head.
I've got a big head too, but your fucking head is just on another level, bro. I mean, mine almost blocks some sun, but your shit is like an eclipse. But the stock cars, Justin Morgan, it came down to him and Matt Gill, and they were driving the wheels off of them bitches. Usually when
Matt almost had him out drove.
He did. But Justin, I
The
have said
fucker's
this.
a driver.
That bitch can drive. I'm not going to say he can't. Oh my God, Justin can drive.
Because he doesn't build an overly hard car.
Nope.
I say every car I've ever seen him run.
He's underbuilt. He was way underbuilt yesterday.
Underbuilt.
Yep.
Of course, I don't know when it comes to the tech, but you can tell when a car's underbuilt, built right, or overbuilt. Because when they take that shot and you see something go stupid,
Well, because
and then you see
Morgan's
something
moving
done.
It moved.
on the passenger side hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the wheel pull back. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing with
But
Justin.
he drove backwards and kept the front end buried all night.
And I think that's what Matt tried to do early too. He was.
Got him an X though.
It did. It got him an X. But when it come down to them two, usually it's a lot of ticky
Did you
tack
see
shit.
both of them when they got out of the cars though? Because the weather was perfect yesterday.
Oh,
You
yes.
couldn't ask for any better. They got out and both of them dudes were wore out. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
could tell that they.
Yep.
Working that car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were solid.
Well, you could see Morgan. I seen him get frustrated a couple times because he still uses the old school push pull shifter.
Mm-hmm.
He has
You hear it popping neutral.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you hear him go for a shot, and you hear it go wow. Then you see him look down. It's like, oh shit, it came out, and then he'd get it back on.
He runs an old tire tool for a shifter. It's an old L-shaped tire tool. Is what he's got on a piece of bar for a shifter.
He's taking that, as we spoke, he's taking that extra thing that can hose him
Yeah, the variable's
out
gone.
of anywhere that he's got to worry about it. And he's even said it. I mean, I can get cable shifters. He said, I don't like them. He wants to know where it's at, but those dudes legit, they run it down, and I mean, they run it down. Austin Pfeiffer had a killer run going too, laying some shots, and I think Tranny said, I'm out.
I would say.
Because it was quick, because he made one monster hit down on the north end, and instantly I saw his arm flying out towards Cedric, and I shut him down, and both him and his passenger were out. I mean, fast. Quentin Robertson, like I said, he run it down to third. I think the first time he's ever been in a big car, but man, I would have loved to have seen that with Jarek and Aaron and Caden and Denny Weaver and Junior and all them guys. That would have been.
So what did people roll in with mostly for the class? Were they rolling in Lincoln? Were they rolling in,
It was all new styles.
really?
Pfeiffer was in a Lincoln, Gill was in a Lincoln, Justin was in a
They
Lincoln.
were all new style Fords.
Yeah, they were either a Lincoln or a Vic. I mean,
There wasn't a metric GM, there wasn't shit there. They were all new style Fords.
nope, no old iron, nothing.
91, or, well, yeah, no. Yeah, 90,
There was one, 94.
maybe. And there was, well, yeah.
So it was just some naturally hard cars to begin with.
It is.
Well, I mean,
It is.
throwing down to have it sounds to me like
Slush box.
Well, here a little bit later, I am going to talk on something. I got showed a picture just last night, and it will actually blow your mind when we get the guy on. But Well-built cars. Well-built cars. They were built right. They all bent. Every one of them bent. Some of them bent more than the others.
Honestly, the way those cars were built, and I'll say this until I'm blue in the face, was what our stock class was originally meant for.
Yes, sir.
The Eddie McGee touch, they built to the very top end of our rules. The way those cars were built yesterday, everybody was right, dead, straight, plain black and white, not reading into anything, rules. If not underbuilt. Because there were several of them that showed up in fresh cars, and I was like, why are there no plates on these? No, we don't need those.
Correct.
And I was like, but it says you can do it. I was like, where's your down tubes? No, we don't need those.
The biggest thing that we actually had a struggle with yesterday were gut and goes. We'll go to them next. Gut and goes, dudes, we understand everybody is competitive as you could possibly be.
But son of a bitch, when I gotta start pulling a scope out for a fucking gut and go.
We had one that was shoved, had probably a 6-inch plate, the second one, not the first one. A 6-inch plate shoved in the frame rail.
A big gusset.
He just made a great big gusset. It's still gonna bend. It's just gonna bend behind it, but that adds a few extra shots.
And we had a piece of like 2x3 tubing shoved
18 inches long, 12.
in the frame, and then they painted over it.
It'd be better off to just not paint.
I missed it.
Yeah, flat missed it. But here's the problem: the world of social media. The guy who did it was sending Snapchats to his buddies. We get the Snapchat. It shows it, so what happens? They go over there. The dad said, well, I had to try something. This is not what you try. It's a beginner's class, and there's people we have talked about, they probably will never get past a gut and go. They don't. We've got guys who will love a gut and go car. It's an easy build, usually a few days. They don't have a whole lot of money in it, and they're pretty damn good at it. But these guys are just taking the shit
Too far.
too far. I mean, we could put that stipulation in Filthy Promotions. If you blatantly break a rule as that,
You load
that bitch. You ain't cutting it. Now, this is yours. You know.
And it would be one thing, coming from my side of things, is doing your safety call from my safety point of something that you all don't see as your normal driving stuff or your normal hits. I'm looking at the drivers, how they're reacting to the hit. If I see one going limp, but something like that, when it would come down to it, if somebody would have got hurt with that, then it would have been a riot to try to say, dude, that would really blatantly hurt him.
Yeah. And last night,
we implemented a new rule in our driver's meeting.
Yep. Passenger doors are out.
We're calling them now.
Really?
Correct.
So,
And we all
and you
understand.
get one warning.
Yes, your shit ain't gonna get broke off right off the bat. But
it
is.
To the drivers who were,
What it's going to do is slow down those guys that are going from one end of the track to the other and play a pinball.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. And you can always make it where we understand 85% of the cars that we have in our gut and go classes are vans.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy to find. Hard as wedding pricks in the back. They have their pluses, they have their minuses. There was a kid out there yesterday that I'd never seen. He was in like a little Corsica. Dude, he was my mad dog pick. That's not how it fell. But this kid was rail to rail with this little bastard. I mean, smoking people. He just didn't last quite long enough. We have what I call really professional gut and go drivers. I mean, we legitly do. Whether it's 2 or 3 of them, I mean, they cash a check every time they run.
Yeah.
Unless something stupid happens, but...
Which Shelby showed up for that class, too.
Wow.
Did the Salisbury driver show up for that?
No Salisbury drivers were there.
Really?
None.
They knew what was coming.
No Columbia drivers were there.
For any classes?
None. 0.
Wow.
No
Stuck to
Madison, no Madison cars were there.
Stuck to the northern routes. 36.
Yep.
Might as well say it. 36 north, 15 east.
Yep.
You know,
Just a
15
little
east,
square,
west, but
yeah. That's 61 and 63 and 36 and 70 square. I mean, that's kind of
yeah.
what most of
Which
them
where
stick
that's
to.
where we're at anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's us.
But you look when you break that square down and get down to the small squares inside of it, like you said, you know, when you call the Showlana boys, you know, Gil, Morgan, you know, and Drew isn't. I don't.
Well,
one of the
Drew's
shows-
still a Showbana boy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, was born
You
and
know,
raised there for
correct.
a long time.
But you know, you get them, but you don't. When they go home, just like Madison, if you get the right Madison guys with the right pair, when you go home, they're gonna go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end, like you all said, best thing to see is when they get out and they look at each other across the track. They either give them a smile and the bird, or they walk across high-fiving, hooping and hollering, whether they
Yeah.
won or not.
Yeah. I mean, we come down to two purple and gray cars, vans, and CJ Glover. CJ has ran some of our stuff, especially at Paris. The first night he went out, I think something stupid happened. He brought it back to Halloween Havoc. Throttle stuck wide open in reverse. He jumped himself up on the berm,
Gotcha.
right below us, you
Okay.
know, where we were
Yep.
sitting. And dude, I'm telling you right now, that son of a bitch is jumped now.
But he drove the wheels.
But he drove it, dude. It folded in so many places. The rear end was probably 2 or 3 foot higher than the nose. I mean, it had like old school 70s
Right.
chopper rake on that bitch. I mean, it was high to low. Mason Rash and Dalton Buckman. It came down to them two in identical
boys-
vans.
Well, and Remington Mobile.
Yeah, who was the 4? Who was the 5? So Dalton Buckman in 82, Mason in 69, CJ in 55,
Remington
12 PK
yeah.
in Remington. But who was the
Dylan Patrick.
Dylan.
And Mason Rash told me the last time I seen him at a derby, he sold all his stuff. He wasn't going to do nothing this year. And I told him, I said, I bet you'll at least go run home. Now I find out that he ran.
He come pulling up. I was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" Oh, I just couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, whatever, fool." But we've seen Mason go from one end of that bitch to the other in reverse and never use the nose. It looked like he was having a battery issue, and Dalton did not drive him.
But he was limping too. Dalton was limping.
Yeah, that bitch. Yeah, it was in limp mode about 2,400 RPMs. It didn't want no more than that. He couldn't even spin a tire. But it was cool. You know, I've known.
Bud Diesel.
Diesel.
Budweiser.
I live in Missouri, and that's the Missouri king of beers. And I can tell you right now, never put it in my mouth because too many people say that.
That's the only thing he hasn't put in his mouth.
My good old Thrasher's bratwurst this weekend.
That's what they're calling it these days.
Meat in his mouth.
It happens.
But it was cool to see Dalton. You know, Dalton, he's always supported that show.
Oh yeah.
Ever since he started derbying. It's either a
I
van
seen
or a
his
W
dad
body.
after the show.
He was on cloud
Oh,
nine,
yeah,
dude.
floating.
Martin, I mean, I grew up with Martin and them guys. Martin, Matt, Mike, and all of them.
Oh, Matt.
And they've all done the derby and stuff too. And he was so proud. And that's just cool to see. You know, you get an 18, 19-year-old kid who's worked his ass off all summer long, and he's going to Nevada. I think he goes next month.
Down in NWI.
Yep. He's going down to NWI down there. I don't think he drove it off the track. With both rear tires missing.
Both missing.
Both smooth gone. Mason's got some stuff left. I don't know if he had a battery issue or fuel issue or what he had. CJ's is pretty toast.
Dylan Patrick's is scrap metal. He yard sailed that bitch.
That is beyond scrap metal.
They knocked both back wheels off of it. Bent a front wheel plumb sideways. I'm pretty sure was beating on the motor of it.
It was hard. The radiator exited the vehicle completely out of it.
Laying on the ground.
We're gonna go ahead and squash this right here. Dylan is Illinois boy. He's wide open. He puts on a killer show. Most of the time, he doesn't give two flying fucks about a paycheck. He wants that mad dog. That's the way he is. He was pretty upset last night. Came up and apologized to me, to my face. I think he apologized to you too. He lost his cool. The main thing that we said in the driver's meeting was no team driving. And they said, how do you want to break that down? I said, we understand that two cars are probably going to hit one car at the same time. I was like, but before somebody else hits them, there has to be that space, that air. He just got on a real unlucky end because one of the Shelby guys would hit him in the right front, and they wouldn't get 3 inches, and here come the next one. So he was in turn thinking, team driving, and he can't see that. He can't see that air. He can just kind of see maybe somebody starting to move, and then by that time he's smashing them. Usually Dylan's got both arms out the windows like, come on, bring it on. If you're going to do it now. Well, then it turned into fingers, and he lost his cool. He lost his shit. But like I said, he was straight up man enough to come over and apologize.
And that right there
instantly
is a sign of a good driver.
Yep.
I don't care if you drove on the track worth the crap or not. When you got a level head to be able to admit your fault or just be straight up man about it.
He spoke his piece. Him and Mr. Reno, they kind of had a few words too. But Dylan, first thing there was a post this morning. I'll be back.
Yeah.
He did get the mad dog.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, and he said he will definitely be back for the next one for make it number 3.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I think the next show, the September show.
Yes.
He's playing in his rain. He's going for a triple crown.
Well, all those guys were built for. I think we had a East Pike boy too. Tyler came down in a W body. Those guys were built for Jacksonville on Thursday. Jacksonville got rained out. Well, Dylan has cool enough guys that he hangs around with, and he's got some sponsors that told him, he's like, here's a van. But it was painted as a pig. That bitch was pink, dark pink, light pink, with a nose on the hood. An actual pig nose and eyes on the hood. It was some restaurant or something over there, and once they figured out that Jacksonville was rained out, he's like, you go junk this bitch somewhere. He said, okay, I'm coming to Shelby. So the dudes, they put on a really good show. Period.
Well, everything that I've seen, just like I said, for
the Mod Compacts was a good show. It just the track wasn't there.
Yep.
The Vossmers out of Leavenworth.
Anybody that knows Aaron and all the Vossmers, they're legit.
Did you see the message we got, or the post, the comment they made on our post?
I did not.
Well, you go ahead.
I'm sorry, I've been playing at a golf tournament all day with my wife and my cousin and his
We're playing a game of whack.
Fuck. And it was, it legitimately was. But guess what? We still brought home money. So, Aaron and those guys, they're top level builders. I've seen them in Blizzard Bash. I've seen them in Capital Carnage. I've seen them in Eldon. A couple years ago, they were running.
They just show up.
Yeah, I was like,
they were in Paris.
Yes, they were, and I think took home money in Paris.
Those they don't call their shows; they just show up to them.
They just and I talked to Aaron afterwards, and he said, "Man," he said, "just with the fuel." He said, "I don't know when we'll be back." He said, "That's really justifying where we get to run." But I'm going to tell you right
now. Here's what Randy put on our Facebook page.
Okay.
He says, Shelby was one of the best shows I've been to in a while. As far as the way the staff treated people, inspectors did a great job as working with builders and drivers. No complaints at all. Great.
These 4 guys, there's 4 Vossmers, and then there was the guy who won it, and I can't think of his name, 514 or 541. He was maybe I'm sorry, shit. Well, it come down to these 4, and I'm telling you right now, dude, they're family. They don't give a shit. I'm talking still wide open, didn't care, nose to nose, nose to ass, pushing them up on the dirt, coming back off the dirt, wide open from one end to the other. That's what them crowd wants to see. No, in a compact. Them guys, they're just legit dudes, and hats off to them. The way we were just talking earlier, Tyler Pickens and his brother Patrick and Cody Bedsworth, who is a teammate to Tyler, they got done running, loaded, went to Eldon. Tyler won Eldon.
That's nuts.
That's Tyler.
Well, yes.
But they were just stuck in that spot, which we did run them first with no water. We did not put any water on it. And they still buried right there in the center.
We put just a touch to knock the dust down on the outside.
On the edges over by the walls. That was
The
it.
2 or 3, stories and stuff I've seen, would you do it one time? Twice?
Put water on it twice on the edge.
Because
With a 600-gallon tank that
we
didn't use a third of it.
Yeah. Maybe.
2, 3 at the most. And
sounds
that's
like your old track up there was the same situation that I had originally for my thrashing.
we put 6,000 gallons of water on Paris last fall. 6,000 gallons. We didn't put 600 on Shelby and buried them bitches to the frames.
Paris's track is an abomination because it is hard.
I think there's so much clay in it.
And there's sand, there's drainage in that bitch.
Yep. And you look, Steven knows what I do, you probably remember it too, from where that track is, when you look down to the north where that bottom, all the way straight back to the far back where the pits were when we had Havoc. That's the old city landfill. All the
I
way
didn't know
through
that
there.
was a landfill.
All the way through. It used to be the old Thrasher sawmills down on the north end. You used to back in down that hill on the north side of it and dump anything. At that time, it was anything.
Well, we were running a derby one time and I had a water heater come through the track.
Well, one of the big tractor pulls had a piece of 3-inch steel cable come up.
Woo!
After the tractor pulled, the sled went down. As they come back, it caught it and it stuck up. And right where his rear tire on that tractor, he was spinning across the top of it. It was in his line of run. And it took them a while to pull that up out of there.
I think we've just gotten lucky with the Paris side of.
Well, as much dirt as we hauled up there, and even some other during the tractor stuff, they brought in a bunch of dirt to build that up. So over the years, it's compacted down, and that's why.
So you can go down there right now and lay black marks on it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and it's not like we haven't got no rain in the last week, because we have.
I could have taken the same amount of rain that we got this week and run Paris track. You would never even know it was.
The only problem we would have had to probably be in the pit side.
No.
He
rode old Thrashers up there.
We had old Thrashers. We had a guy come in from, I can't remember where Mom said he would come into camp from. He brought in an old tour bus from a very well-known Nashville star.
That's 40,000 pounds.
And he right across it. Didn't even go down, just right across it. Backed it in, didn't spin, nothing.
Well, the last feature that we got to run last night was our street stocks.
And that shit was gonna get rowdy.
Oh my God! It still got rowdy, but it was going to be tenfold of rowdy.
23s hurt everybody.
Yep. Did you see the 27s that he didn't get stuck? So, and that's what I tried
Poor
to...
pork chop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I've heard that name. What's his real name? I've heard Pork Chop.
Clendenny.
There you go. I've only heard his real name once or twice, but I've heard Pork Chop. I don't know how many times.
So,
pork chop.
we're gonna give you a breakdown of the street stock cars that were there. Colt Doyle.
Restubbed
03.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Austin Johnson.
And his team car.
Tyler Hill.
Oh, I did see that 'cause I seen Brock snap as he pulled on the track.
Pork Chop.
Austin Schaefer.
Dustin Schaefer.
I I don't know Dustin.
Dustin is Austin's dad.
Okay, so I say
Jordan Wood in his team
He
car
was
from
on-
Palmyra.
Yeah, he was
Him and Austin were
Okay.
teammates at
Okay.
the Palmyra show. Eli Shores.
which that was his team car too, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. And Denton Bixel.
Oh my.
Denton
Denton's motor took a shit in the tech line.
Oh. So he
thought it was transmission. Denton got a hold of me a little bit last week, and I got a couple phone calls. You know, he was going to switch transmissions. He runs Salisbury. Bell housing was broken before he even started to run. Dumped the drive shaft. U-joint broke. He got all that fixed. He comes through tech and just had minimal stuff to do. It did go on the frame machine. After Salisbury, he put a couple extra little welds, to help after he pulled it out. Jerry and Justin and Cedric, they all looked at it and they said, man, just blow a couple holes right here on this weld. He's like, just cut these little few extra things you got and you're good to go. It was in gear. He started it. And it lurked. He shut it off, pulled it back, would not start. Like, didn't even want to turn over. So roughly 10 minutes from the driver's meeting, I was kind of making my rounds to tell, hey, we got a driver's meeting real shortly. I get up to Denton, and they're like, Colt's wanting to put a 5-speed in it at the track. I didn't tell you that. He's like, I got a 5-speed, we'll put it in there. I got another set of pedals, we'll put it in there. Denton was like, dude, I'm not doing that shit. He's like, if you want to do it, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing it. So the mechanics that are with Denton most of the time, they said, let's take the bolts out of the converter, loosen them up to see if the converter is what was pulling it down. So they tried that. They were bumping them over. Austin Johnson was on one side.
That's what I like to
Denton's
hear.
mechanics on the other side under it. I think Avery Hunault's inside bumping it over, trying to get them where they can get them all loosened up. And they loosened them up and it still wouldn't turn over.
It's internal.
Yeah,
They're locked
something.
up on it.
Yeah.
Well,
To an
something-
extent.
It's not locking up. That's what's weird.
Yeah.
It'll kind of, and then that's it. And then he'll hit it again. So he thought batteries were dead. So he goes and gets brand new batteries, puts batteries in, still doing this, do the transmission deal, and he looks at me, he goes, dude, that's like a real good converter. He's like, this ain't no junk shit. And he said, this is my good stuff. I was like, well, maybe his converter just went out and got tight, and then he told me it was out. So we had a few cars that I figured were going to be there too that did not show up.
Well, there was a few that didn't get done. People are busy. I get it. 100% get it.
And then there were some Snapchats and phone calls. There was a couple more coming. They decided to save it, and I think they're saving them for Columbia. 45 minutes from the house. That's still a little bit different. So, but we're talking. Whoa.
Dino.
And Dino Fisher. I forgot Dino
His
was
team
there.
car.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Corey Ludington was sitting in the passenger seat.
Corey was riding.
Uh-oh. I wonder if that was the car that they took up there to that show in Huntsville.
Yes.
Yes.
He
Yep.
won.
Yeah.
Dino won last night.
Nice. It's like his up there in Huntsville. I mean, that bang, bang, bang done. So there was no, it was, might as well, yeah, it was a run car, but you might as well say it was fresh. I mean,
Yeah, Dino won it. Austin Johnson got second.
Hill got third.
Tyler Hill got third. Colt got fourth. Dustin Schaefer got fifth.
Yeah.
Austin and Pork Chop. And
Austin,
Jordan.
that poor bastard, took a door shot last night. That
Yeah.
rung his belt. Well, hit him so hard in the door that it pushed the fender forward and he couldn't turn.
It locked the steering up.
oh my.
Yeah.
And he didn't even throw the door on that one. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Well, I've seen all those guys drive enough that I know nothing was intentional.
No, I don't think it was.
It was one of them, I think, where Austin was going this way and this Austin was coming this way, and I think he was just trying to time it, and it just, bow. And,
It was bad.
yeah, it was wide open.
And then it wasn't 5 seconds after that, though, we got to watch Austin Johnson disappear.
Yes.
So you know Austin's not like the biggest guy in the world.
No.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, he's in this old iron.
Yep.
He comes screaming down the track. Dino never turned out of it, never even offered
Nope.
to. Dino's like, all right, I ain't taking a full track shot, I'll meet you in the middle. And he was headed toward him. Like, Dino had never let out. He was taking off. He watched the video. He seen Austin coming. He's like, all right, let's do it. I'll party. So they hit nose to nose, and Dino's car, straight up, Austin's car, it goes hard.
Austin
disappears. He's in the floorboard with his pedal set up.
Oh,
Hard
my.
enough, it gave him a bloody nose and broke a tooth off.
You can see Austin he grabbed another gear and he's going like a son of a bitch, and it was right in front of me. And it was bam, and Austin was just gone. And of course his little ass comes getting back up. He's like, oh shit.
And he tried to back up. Tranny was
Yep.
bendy.
Yeah.
Well, and then after hearing that, him disappearing, Cody Meyer show, when he ran, you all
Plates the
said,
car.
you all said Austin doesn't wear a seatbelt,
No, he doesn't.
and he wore a seatbelt there.
Yep.
Took that shot
I
and
heard him.
Yeah, he technically got hurt. Got bloody nose, broke a tooth. There ain't nothing worse than a toothache, but it sounds to me if he'd had a seatbelt on there, it might have been.
But here's the kicker. Okay, Dino pulls back away from this, and Tyler Hill gets unstuck from the middle and hits Dino another time, damn near half track. Stands Dino's shit way more up.
And Dino's still like, let's do it.
Yep, still had steering.
Well, and then at this point, Austin fires back up. Dino's headed toward him from the other end because Dino come down. I was standing on the south end. Dino come down, drove around, looked
Hold
at
on,
me.
South End? Isn't that where the beer garden is?
Yeah.
Yes.
So was you red flagging the cars and green flagging the
No.
Okay.
So Dino comes down and looks at me, and I'm like, go ahead, you still got time, go do something. And he comes cruising around, heads down there, buries it in the ass into Austin. But in the meantime, because everybody was like, well, I think Hill got second. And I'm like, no, because Austin's shit limped backwards just enough
To make,
a mutual hit
yeah.
with Dino.
Yeah. And here's the deal about Austin. Austin came with a shirt, number 129 on the back, with nut job above it.
Mm-hmm.
I have personally heard Austin say, I have a couple screws loose.
On several interviews.
Yes, but the thing about Austin is he's won a gob of derbies.
Oh, yeah.
And he has done this for a long time, especially for his age. But that dude,
How old is he?
Austin, I don't know. I'm
Younger
gonna
than
guess,
me, I
yeah, late 20s, something like that.
I knew he was younger than me by a long shot, but.
But the thing about him is he is there to put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If he doesn't get to put on a show, he is pissed. His boy right now is 1.
He's 31.
Austin's 30, yeah. So,
So right there,
yeah.
same as you, right?
No, I'm 32.
But Austin's wife, Taylor, loves it. Their boy, he was with them last night. He loves it. Austin has got a good core group of people around him, whether it's helping them in the shop or, helping their, the Southern Series domination promotion deal. We try to support them guys as much as we can. We're going to try to take some cars to PL. I think that's, my boy wants to take a van over there. So rules are a little bit different. But, when you have the caliber, I understand Warrenton had some bad dudes there. Warrenton did have some bad dudes there last night. When you put Cody Brown and Dalen Brown and Gary Robinson and Miller,
I was getting.
PJ Snore, I mean, you've got some dudes who don't fuck around. Period. I kind of figured if any of the Illinois guys would go somewhere, they would go to Warrenton. They didn't. They came, supported us, put on the best possible show that they could. Some of these cars are hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Hurt. I'm not sure Dino can get another run out of that one.
Probably can at J&B.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can pull it down. I don't think Tyler's going to have anything. That bitch was snooted way to the moon, too.
Which I think he was ready to be done with that car anyway.
Correct. Yep.
Only person's name for a Shelby show that I haven't heard y'all mention. Where's Grant Bowling?
He was there.
Grant was there. We'll talk about that too. Grant had to go up and help Denton out this week. What Grant found out after Salisbury is the tranny ate it.
That's it.
Okay. Jarek was going to make that 100% right. Then after getting a little bit into it, he found out his motor decided to eat it too.
Oh my.
So what I thought maybe the converter, the pump or something was pulling the motor down,
No.
the motor itself was actually pulling itself down. He saved it. It didn't grenade or nothing like that. I had been on him all spring, and he was like, man, it just depends on where I'm going to take it because he's getting ready to have a baby.
Correct.
I think she's due like any day.
I know at Salisbury, she sat there.
She was and I told her, I said, you need to come up here in these fans.
Well, there was two girls there, her and then the Brenda Shelby girl, Katie Smith, that dates the Mountain Boys from Salisbury, and she just had her kid, and her and Brittany.
Yeah.
You looked over and it was just
they're miserable.
Two women that support their men.
Yep.
Okay, so enough with the pregnant women on Derby podcast. I'm over that.
But we had some Power Wheels last night, and I'm going to give them up to the Power Wheels because Grant's boy, Radley, I told Grant over the microphone, I said, dude, you're going to have to move him up in classes. He blew this Jeep, he blew the fucking rollover bar off of it. He
There
picked
was
it
a
up.
door shot.
There was a door shot. I mean, he was hitting hard enough, he was opening the doors.
Time to weld them.
And it was him and Quentin Robertson's boy.
Yeah. And there was just two kids.
Having the time of their life.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Radley's what, 5?
Radley's 3.
3, okay. So I knew I can't remember. But you look, 3-year-old, and how old was the other one? Probably about the same?
3,
Yeah, probably the same.
2 3-year-olds putting on a show for
Crowd was going
a
nuts.
crowd.
Was going nuts with Power
Oh, they were
Wheels.
nose to nose.
Yeah.
Well, I think it might have been on Grant's Snapchat. I seen it when there was a hit and it looked like Radley cleared.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I told Grant straight up, I said, dude, you're going to have to move him up.
I thought there for a minute was watching circle track.
I'm sorry, guys. I still have bronchitis. And this guy sitting next to me is a dick.
Well, I've been trying to give this to Peter Simmons.
Yeah, it don't work. You can't come play golf with me, so.
No offense, I'd love to see Steven try to swing at the golf ball.
I think it would, too. I'd almost pay it. I'd
I'll
almost
tell you right
pay
now,
to see it.
you don't want to see me, but I won't hit it.
The thing that bothers me about golf is the point of that game is to play the least amount of that game.
Correct, but it's another reason for a dude to drink beer.
I don't need no reason.
But Shelby
I'm sitting in
County
my parents' basement drinking beer right now. Like,
Shelby County Fair Derby was legit action.
let's put the stamp on it. Done.
Stamp that bitch done and over with.
Let's make a phone call.
Let's make a phone call.
Well, here we go. We got him on the phone, Mr. Bank Don't Care, Cody Meyer.
What's going on, guys?
Man, we apologize for the last time we got you on, and that didn't get to happen. That's the only time we've ever had that happen where something actually didn't come through. We couldn't hear you. It was just something that we didn't want to air. So I'm just glad that you're cool as shit to come back on and redo this one with us, man.
Shit happens.
Every day, brother, every day.
Well, I know that you've got a few runs under your belt since last time we talked.
Yeah, man.
How's the season going?
Real good. It's been going good. I started off at Whiskey City. That was my first show of the season back in March. Was able to pull one out up there with a couple good buddies. I've been to Griggsville. I took a second there. I've been to Carrollton. I took a win there. And I've been to Carlinville and took 2 wins there.
Oh, you were at P Hill, too.
Yeah, P Hill. Yep, I was at P Hill. I don't even remember how I did at that one. I didn't win, I know that.
Well, you run 2 classes with 1 car.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was one of those. That was one of those deals where I hopped up in the mod hoping for an easy check.
That's the one where Cody fucked up.
I did. I had a. I was a rookie that night for sure. Oh man, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, here's the thing. You didn't know what happened at that
Well,
instant.
and it honestly, like, it looked like Clayton was about to feed it to you.
Well, I think there was like 4 cars. It was me, Clayton, TJ Irvin, I believe, and I think there was one more. And I was just going to go out there and try to get second or third and then save it for the next class. And when they threw that red flag, everybody was pointed right at me, and I was like, oh, boy. And, I was afraid I was, like you said, getting ready to get fed one. So when they dropped the green flag, I broke her off, and lo and behold, Clayton's CV shaft was broke, and I think I was.
You had the dub.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would have got second for sure.
You live, you learn.
That's one of those. We've always got a buddy from Illinois who said you never lose, you always learn.
Well, I'll believe that. I mean, that's
Until
true.
he has 2 runs of bad luck and quits.
I don't see Mr. Cody quitting anytime soon.
No, not real soon. Hell, I thought with the baby and everything this year that, it might slow me down a little bit, but I've got lucky. I've been able to run quite a few pre-ran cars this year that just keep going, and that saves me from having to build a new one, so that helps a ton.
Well, and right now it looks like you've got the baby that's coming to the shows with you, with Mama, so that helps that immensely, still getting to spend time with the woman and the kid and just all be involved in this family thing that we
Well, it's a family sport. It really is.
Yeah, we legitimately say
yeah.
it is all about family.
But yeah, like we said, this is a family sport.
Yep.
And you got, you're getting to spend time with the wife and kid and all that stuff.
Yep.
It makes doing what you love even better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, building a home and having the shop and being right there. And like I said, most of the shows I run are half-ass local, within an hour or so. So she doesn't mind bringing her over. We balance it out and make it work, that's for sure.
Sounds like you got a pretty good woman there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. I couldn't ask for better.
Now, what are we going to have to do to get you on this side of the river?
I've already had this conversation with him.
I just had this conversation. I'll tell you what, I'm planning, if the chips fall where they should, I'm planning on being over there in October for Paris.
You can't come over until that great big ass check for a gut and go is going to get cut, are you?
Well, actually, he's going to be over here. He's running Palmyra.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the plan. That's the plan, is to be at Palmyra.
Because as we've talked before, Dakota's been on his nuts for
ever
trying to get him to come over and run.
Yeah.
And he's not a huge fan of the vans with the cars.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say all in all, that's, I'm crazy. I'll run with anybody, but when it comes down to the brass tacks, in my opinion, vans are a step above, your cars. And that's just my
we
opinion.
got to see that last night at our show that we had in Shelby. It was a van derby is what it was.
Yep. The ass end of those things are hard.
Correct.
And we talked like the ones with the stow and go and all that shit. Like,
Yep.
Now, you've been in this way long enough. Do you see any advantage with drivability with like a W body against the van?
No, not really. They're both front wheel drive, so I mean you got maneuverability in both of them. Those minivans, they shit and get. Those minivans straight get after it, and I think they're maybe a little softer up front, over your W body. But I mean, in the ass, those things are like sort of like dynamite kegs in the ass. I mean, they can take a licking and keep on moving.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some last night that actually got completely folded with the radiator
Yeah.
out of them. I mean, it sent the
Well, they
condenser
finally
radiator.
beat Dylan Patrick. They almost beat the motor out of that car,
Yeah.
or out of that van.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
In that same token, I think, which we have conversed, off air, Stephen and I, that even with a van, it's kind of like a wagon, an old iron wagon. You just see that, and hey, I want to park right in the ass of that son of a bitch.
Yep.
But
A lot
that's
of
not really an
similarities.
option, man. I've watched these vans do what they do, and you keep beating on the ass end of them.
Yep.
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 And your Mopars, the Dodges, the Plymouths, they're even, again, it doesn't hold a candle to your, to what you think of when you're thinking a full size wagon, but they're leaf sprung in the back.
Oh yeah.
There's a straight solid axle back there, leaf sprung, stow and go makes that rear decking hard as hell.
Because the anchor points in them.
Yeah, exactly right. The anchor points, they're all throughout that bottom, and man, they just stiffen those things up.
Well,
That's what I was telling Derek the other day. I was like, we're gonna finally see somebody come out there with a full built leaf pack on one of these vans. I just don't know who's gonna do it, because at Shelby last night we actually had to scope 3 different vans,
Really?
yep.
and they were stuffed.
Yep.
Easy
to do.
we're actually even getting people coming to us, and they're like, hey, this big gut and go show that you guys run in the fall, what do you think about not having vans?
Mm-hmm.
Just make all sedans, all cars. And I was like, the only problem is there's so many people selling these things right now. I mean, you can get these vans for $3-4. I mean, I gave little to nothing for a Caravan, and it still had the converter on it.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
I think one last night, Dylan said his had 300,000 miles or something on it, but
Oh,
it still
yeah.
run
Run
like
like
a
a
top.
top.
Yeah, that bitch
Yeah.
wasn't messing around.
Those 3.3s just go.
I like those Honda Odysseys too.
Yeah. I like them real good when it comes to the converter game.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, Derek's supposed to be getting me some converters back.
Yeah, when my boy stripped the van, he didn't cut the right converters off the Honda Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought home the $35 converter instead of the $600 converter. He's like, hey, you got to get that one back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I know you talking about going to Palmyra in August. Hopefully, if the cards fall correctly, you're going to be over with us in October. What do you got
That's the
between
plan.
now and then?
Say that again.
What do you got between now and then, between here in August and hell, I say here in August, hell, it's just a month.
Yeah.
It's less than a month.
Well, I know for sure. I don't like to give too many secrets away, but I know for sure I'll be at my hometown, which is Jerseyville. It's coming up here a week from today. It'll be July 17th, which is a Sunday. I'm running a couple pre-ran cars there. I'm actually running the car I won Whiskey City and the car I won Carrollton with. I'm going to take it out for its third dance at Jerseyville a week from today. And then my van, Good Dodge Caravan that I won over in Carlinville with, I think I'm going to go dance with it as well. So I'm going to get 2 more pre-rans out of the way, and then I'll have about a month there, between then and the end of August. I'm going to throw one together real quick for Palmyra, hopefully, and then I'm going to have, like I said, I'll have some time to throw some stuff together.
Man, what is it with? And I've never got to ask this question. Illinois, is it me, or do they have so many derbies on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday?
Yep.
Is it just for the fair purposes? That's when the fair boards are saying, hey, we're just going to do a derby. Like Jacksonville had a derby, supposed to have it on Thursday. Well, it got rained out. They didn't reschedule it.
I don't really like it. I think that a lot of the county fairs cater to the concerts. They want a big country singer on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Jacksonville has always had their derby on a Thursday. Schuyler County over in Rushville always has it on 4th of July. It doesn't matter which day the 4th falls on, that's when they have it. Yeah. And then Sunday, Jerseyville's has always been on a Sunday. They have the ITPA come in and track their truck pull on Saturday. So it's a crapshoot on to what day the Derby's going to fall on over here. You never know.
If it was like that in Missouri, you would never see me in a car.
Ever.
It's tough. I mean, that Jacksonville show, they canceled it, and it was on a Thursday night. I know people that had taken off work. I mean, that was a big ordeal because a lot of people, you don't just pack up and go, last minute. I mean, a lot of people had to plan for that, and when you cancel something like that, it sucks.
Well, hell, I saw one old boy. He was already on his way from Kentucky.
Yep, Jonathan Painter.
Yes, he was like, "Well, fuck this. I guess I'll turn around and go home."
4.5 hours, one way just to find out that it's canceled.
Yeah, that week
And
stuff.
man, that's why if we ever cancel anything, we try to do it days before.
And it's tough. I get it. Rain. Jacksonville got almost 5 inches of rain. I mean, that's not normal. So I mean, I do get it, but I feel for them drivers too that are coming a long way. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, man, how many wins have you got this year so far?
4 so far this year. So doing good. That doesn't happen all the time. I will say, that Whiskey City show this spring, that show was off the chains, man.
Well, we watched it.
I had a great time up there. I'd say that was probably one of my. I'd say that was one of my top 3 one of my top 3 experiences in a long time.
We watched it from the house, and Steve looked at me. He said we were kind of picking cars, and he said, "I'm telling you right now, Bank don't care." I was like, "Is that who you're picking for winning?" He said, "Hell yes, I am."
Well, I said, "I don't even have to pick that, as I know he's gonna win."
That was a good time. I mean, the hotel's right there. There's bars on every corner you go around. Right there around that Civic Center.
Just
Great
bars?
food.
Just bars or like AJ Steakhouse or some shit?
You name it. Bar and grill, bar, clip club. I don't care.
There it is.
If you want to go, they got it.
Well, I know we always used to go to Blizzard Bash and everything, and how everything is being done right now. I don't really care to go. I've got a lot of buddies still asking me, "Hey, you gonna go to Bash?" I was like,
My next big show to run will be Whiskey City.
I want to go to Whiskey City.
Sam does a good job.
I love Sam. That dude.
Sam Williams, I mean, this is, he doesn't really know me that well, and I don't know him that well, but I can tell you demoing is in his blood, and when he puts something on, he does it right. I can't think of too many things about that show that I would fix. I mean, usually when you run, for the first time in a long time, you got to work some kinks out, and there weren't many kinks. That went pretty smooth. The ventilation in the building might have been the biggest kink that I could see.
Yeah, but he thought the same thing with Blizzard Bash out in Topeka.
Until they upgrade the exhaust systems, he's still gonna have that. And if that's the only kink in the armor, so be it.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to speculate, but I got a feeling that show, if that's going to become an annual thing, which it looks like it is, just after year 1, I can see all the interest that, bigger name guys that kind of sat that one out that were like, "Oh, we're going to see how this goes." I mean, there was a lot of big name guys there. I mean, Schaffner and Teddy and
Rob,
you
all the
had
guys
a lot
were there.
You had a lot of big name guys there, but I think that show's going to explode, and I wouldn't be scared to say if that doesn't become the new Blizzard Bash.
You're not the only person that has said that.
So,
I mean, I go
I
back.
think it's going to hurt Carnage something fierce.
Oh, I do too.
yeah,
I've known Sam long enough. I still owe him a couple nut kicks if he's listening. But Sam was that type of dude that, I mean, I could be unreal pissed off at. And why did you load our shit? Well, it's not my choice.
right.
It comes back to the text. So, but he'd be one of them guys that come over and he was like, "Hey, man, we screwed up. there's nothing I can do about it. It's over and done with. And then he ran with us at Sturgis, Kentucky. You know, and Sam is kind of how Steven said back in the spring. It's kind of like he doesn't try to reinvent the wheel.
Nope.
He knows what works. The only complaint that we had for anybody that we talked to about that show was the track. That was a little too soft the first night, and I think you ran the first night, didn't you? Didn't you run Friday night?
I ran the first night, but I will tell you, for my heat, it was fine. Front-wheel drive, light cars, you know, we didn't have much of a problem. Now, the big cars, that's a different story. You know, some of those mods are tipping the scales. You know what I mean? And when you're talking solid,
and then they want to run solid 21-inch tall tires.
Yeah.
They come out there with 4 inches of ground clearance between the bracing on the rear end and the ground.
And you're lucky if it's that.
Right.
I mean, on some of these, you know, you're talking some of these 14 bolts, you know, with these protectors on them. That center pumpkin is, it's low.
Yeah, and I think
I like a good set of 27s, man.
I know my son. He's got into it, and I think we want to take a trip over there. I'd much rather spend 2 or 3 days in Peoria, Illinois, than I would Topeka, Kansas. I've done the Topeka stuff, so hopefully
you can't get a fucking hotel in Topeka.
you can. It just depends on how far you want to drive in that bitch.
Well, and for you guys, you know, as well as me, Peoria is a hell of a lot closer than Topeka.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I think from my front door to Peoria it tells me I think it's 3 hours.
Maybe.
Right.
That's what it's telling you. I can be over there in 2.5.
Yeah, and it's like 3:46 to Topeka or something like that.
It's almost 4 hours.
Yeah, and Topeka for you guys is probably 6 plus?
No, for us we're about 4.
3 hours.
4?
Minutes.
We're kind of if we want to go to Oski, we're 3.5 hours to a T-bone show.
We're geographical oddity.
Yeah, we're like
dead center
perfectly
right
in the middle. So
Right.
Sturgis,
Sturgis. We're 5 to Sturgis, 4 to Topeka. 3 to Peoria, 3 to Oski. We're just kind of lucky where you're kind of stuck over there. It's almost damn near easier for you to go to Indiana.
Right.
From where you're coming.
I will reiterate something from the first interview that we didn't get to air with him. This is one of the first dudes that I ever run against in the stock class that was running a front-wheel drive car. And I was ducking and dodging this fucker the whole time.
I'm going to tell you a quick story about that, and I'm going to make it fast. I used to tell people I wanted to drive W bodies in the big car class, and this was 7, 8 years ago. And I got laughed at. Oh, you're stupid. You're going to get junked. That's a death wish. You don't want to take a compact out there with those big cars. I mean, I literally got, people just thought I was nuts. Well, I started doing it at the local level and was cashing checks. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this up a notch. And I started running up at Bowling Green, Missouri, back when Domination had that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran 3 years up there running a front-wheel drive. I think the first year I got third. I think the second year I got second. And the third year I won it. And, I mean, I'm pissing off some of these, drive guys. And finally, if you read the rule sets now for Domination and even a lot of local shows, these big car classes have a wheelbase restriction on them now to where you got to be 112 or bigger to get in, just to weed those front-wheel drive cars out. And if you would have told some of the guys that I was running against 8 years ago that they were going to outlaw front-wheel drive compacts, and they'd have laughed you off the block.
Yeah, they kind of started bitching when you started knocking wheels off them bastards,
That
didn't
was all I was worried about the whole time we were out at Blizzard Bash. I was like, this son of a bitch is going to come around here and poke a wheel off his fucking car, and there I'll be sitting.
Yep.
And everybody's going to be laughing at me because I was the guy that got taken out at Blizzard Bash by a W body.
I don't care how hard your car is. I don't care how much horsepower you're making. I don't care what octane your fuel is. If you've got a front tire laid over at a 90, you're not going anywhere.
No, sir. No, sir.
And that's what I was lined up about 2 cars over from you out there at Bash, and I was like, I'm gonna keep an eye on him. And the whole time I wasn't looking for anybody else on the track. I was like, where's that W body at?
It was sitting over with the starter locked up on it.
Well, after I seen the stick down on it, I was like, okay, I can breathe a little bit now. Let's go ahead and start working this track.
I was hoping to go up there and kind of do what I'd done here local, and I think I could have. I just ran into some absolute shit luck.
Yes, you did.
I took one hit high. Guy kind of cleared my front end and it killed my engine. I went to refire and I got nothing but clicks. When I got it off the trailer and I got underneath of it, I literally pulled 2 bolts and replaced a starter, and it fired right back up. I don't know if it was the solenoid locked up or what, but of all times for it to happen after a trip to Topeka.
Yeah, why not do that at home? Why don't do that at a home fair show instead of 7.5 hours or whatever you were to Topeka to do that?
You're not kidding. I had to drink a little more that night to compensate.
I know that whole derby was awesome. I mean, that was probably the most fun I'd ever had in a derby because there was just such a variety of people there. You know,
well, and those big shows like that, Whiskey City, Blizzard Bash, any of these shows that are indoors that the Derby Nation crew usually goes to and puts them on the live stream. I mean, that's just a whole different atmosphere, than your local shows. That's cool, win, lose, or draw. To come out of that tunnel and to get in that arena, and it's a blast. I mean, you meet so many people, and get to even when you're just hanging out. I mean, that's just an experience.
Well, we were talking about that whenever I left out there. My wife was like, "What is going on with your phone?" And I think I had like 320 friend requests by the time we finally got out of Topeka and I got actual service. And my phone was just going just ridiculous.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you were the only W body in there, and I was the only Mopar out there.
Right. I think everything else was about new style Fords.
Yep, and there
were some metric
GMs, the 77 to 79 Cadillacs.
I took a wagon up there one year for that class, and I will never do that again, ever. I was plowing dirt in about 3 hits.
Went straight down.
Straight down. Don't run a metric wagon in a class you can't pre-bend for. I figured that out the hard way.
Yeah. Well, brother, we know you're busy. We know you got a lot on your plate, so we're going to get off here. It was awesome to have you back on.
We definitely want to catch up with you at the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll get you maybe
after October.
Yep.
October would be good. Like I said, I've got a handful of shows left that I'm going to try to make it to if things work out. I'm actually out today hanging up some deer cameras, so I'm out in the woods right now. Actually, I just got back to my truck. I took a day off today and went out and getting out some cameras, but
I didn't know they had any big deer or anything over there in Illinois.
Do what?
I said, I didn't know they had any big deer or anything like that over in Illinois.
Oh, they're few and far in between.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, okay.
They have moose.
Y'all ain't got deer, you got goddamn elk.
I'm hoping, like I said, to get over there. I'm hoping to hit Paris if I can. They're early August, and then I'm hoping to hit, not Paris, Palmyra. They're early August, and then Paris in October. I'm gonna do my damnedest to be at both of those. But yeah, hopefully we can catch up afterwards, and I'll have to get you guys, keep in touch with you guys before we get into next year too on Whiskey City. We'll have to get some rooms next to each other somewhere.
Game on, buddy. Game on.
Maybe we can go have a beer or something.
Yeah, maybe a few of them.
All right, brother. We appreciate you, man, and we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Bank Don't Care.
Bank don't give a shit.
I guess, I talked to that dude a little bit the other day on the phone, and he said that he has never, ever once went to cash a check, and that bank been like, hey, how many cars was there? How'd you drive today?
They don't care when they're handing cash money out.
But no, it was good to catch up with that dude. He's always, always willing to talk. Really stand-up guy.
Maybe I can get him to ride with the boy in Peoria. Give him some other pointers. Because I'm not going to lie. Big D told me yesterday that he still hurts.
And he said it absolutely never will get back in the
band. He's like, no, that shit's out.
But anyway, Derek, go ahead and tell him about what we got going on in 2 weeks.
All right, 2 weeks. Boone County.
Well, actually, from when this drops, it'll be about a week.
A week and 2 days. We were doing the Royal Rumble.
Like we're going to scratch that.
Yep. We've got some entries, but we don't have near enough entries to justify doing it.
Still going to have a 3K stock show.
Yes. So
whether that be a limited car show and we drop the entry money down a little bit, or whether we just have a full-blown stock class that is a 3K payout and we just take $50 a car and we run it out.
Yep. A lot of the guys said they did not want the justification of the outcome of the Derby from a chip draw.
Right. And then there was some that, they thought our entry was a little steep.
Yep.
And that's fine. We want to hear that.
Correct.
We want to know.
Well, we were actually talking about this, and here's the thing. Most of our entry fees are $50 for a run for 1,000 to win. So paying 3,000 to win, it's the same odds. It's 5 to 1, 100 to 2, or 150 for 3.
Right.
So we didn't really. It's just kind of like putting a little extra money in a slot machine. Do you want to hit that max bet to win 10 G's, or do you want to hit that little bet to win 1,000?
Because I had a lot of people that were like, well, why is the entry fee so high? I was like, well, we still have to cover that money.
Oh, yeah.
Because if people think that I'm padding my pocket with that, that's not what's happening.
The thing about it, you go run for $2,500 at Blizzard Bash to run in the singles.
Right.
It still costs $250.
Right.
So there's going to be stuff on
I'm not
Facebook.
comparing our shows to Blizzard.
No, I'm not. I'm not either. But
our entry fees aren't Blizzard Bash price either.
And less entry fee and more payout. I mean, I just haven't got that quite figured out why. But
and it's still a fair show. I get that. I understand.
It is.
But it's a filthy fair show.
At Boone County, not Sturgeon, Missouri, at Boone County Fairgrounds. Columbia, Missouri, first Derby since 2015. We want this to be right.
And we've kind of dropped the ball on this information stuff with everything going on. We will get everything out and posted this week.
Yes. I meet with the guy
Greg.
I meet with
Tuesday.
Greg Tuesday.
He'll be out there at the fairgrounds. You're going to go out, lay the track out, get them the information they need. We're going to get some kind of mock flyer made this week, whether we do it, whether they do it, whatever, with the payouts, what's going down, how it's going to work. And I think that I'm going to pull some money out of my personal money, and I'm going to go ahead and start hitting these radio stations, and I'm going to start driving it this week. Because I know that they're a little upset with us over the way that all this is played out, and it's my schedule. I ain't going to lie about none of it. It's been hectic. Like, I'm going to be gone until that show. I will be home the night before that Derby happens.
Yeah. So it's it's a lot on the other guys' plate too. Whether it's Lish or Tanya or me or whoever, we're all stretched pretty damn thin. We all got jobs. I work in Columbia, but by the time I get there and leave my house at 6:15 and get home at 6 that night, I don't really want to do a whole lot during the week.
Well, the next two you're going to be spread just a little bit.
Yeah, my fat ass is going to be a little bit more thin. So we've got some good shows. We've got some good guests coming on. I got hit up last night.
Give us till after this Boone County show, and we're going to get back into the highlight and the other shows. We've just had so much going on that the conceited part of us we've just been talking about us.
Correct.
And there's other people out there. You know, we've got team shows coming up, 2-man shows.
On one team
with
show.
a nasty driver's list that we don't know who's running with who.
Nope. None.
So I'm ready for that. That's going down next weekend.
Yeah, you're talking Kunkel, Pudwitter, Corey Luddington, Booger,
Yeah.
Bryce Lanou.
I think I might have seen an Eddie on that list.
I believe I saw maybe a Jarek Eddie on that list. So, awesome shit. They're going to be...
We're going to get back
It's going to be on pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a domination deal, so...
Well, that's okay. I'll be working.
So you will be working, so I'll get to work. Oh, yeah, well, my boy wants to go to Higbee. I don't know.
You all ought to take my car.
No, that's a bad idea. That's a real bad idea to try to get that in that show.
It'll go.
It'll go. It'll go fucking up. But catch
no,
us.
we're going to get back to that true hard-nosed podcast bullshit. That's where we'll be.
Hey, and we announced it last night. We've got Hard Nosed Derby Podcast koozies.
A little bit of merch coming down
some
way.
merch. We've got some filthy promotion koozies as well. We sold the shit out
Nobody
of those
gives a
last
shit about
night.
filthy promotions.
Yeah. We are going to have shirts made hard nosed. Just like everything else. Everything is on intergalactic back order and nobody's got a goddamn clue when we're supposed to get
Walmart
this stuff.
and bought shirts.
Yes. Yeah, for our tech guys. Tanya finished those up Friday night.
After her and Lish made how many koozies?
250 koozies, I think. And then the 2 days before that for the old Thrashers.
Made 300.
And made another 300, you know. So we're busy. But if you want any of those koozies, just shoot us a message. We can mail them. You can catch us at Boone County. You can catch us at
$4
Paris.
koozies, come on.
$4, and they're neoprene. They're the legit ones. I mean, they're not
Only
screen
the best
printed.
for our fans.
Yeah, they are not screen printed. They are what she call that shit sublimation.
Sublimation.
So it actually is part of the koozie instead of just this screen printing that way.
I'm not getting into the logistics of this.
Yeah, no,
I'm just saying.
It's good shit for $4.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, they're tough. Check out our page. Like,
Yep.
the bitches are bad.
They are. Well.
So are the bitches that made them.
Don't tell them that. They'll get a big ass hit.
Well, they're going to hear it. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Make jump.